Greetings, wisdom keepers, wisdom seekers. Welcome back to Wisdom Dropz, your source for daily drops of wisdom and Saturday astrology. Tanya Lasagna back again with another video, layering together all the celestial sauce and nodal noodles into something digestible. And today we are discussing it, the full moon in Aquarius coming from the moon itself as we speak. I thought that'd be a nice little backdrop for y'all. And before I jump on into it, make sure you're subscribed if you're new here. Like this video if it brings you any value whatsoever. And of course, you are welcome to leave a comment down below, friends, as you choose to share your experiences with what is currently going on in your life, celestially and beyond. So, with that said, what is going on celestially? Well, the full moon in Aquarius, you know it's a full moon, so it's an awareness point. You know that Aquarius, hopefully you know this, and if you don't know, you're about to know, is ruled by Saturn. And Saturn, that planet that rules Aquarius, the patron goddess or god of Aquarius, is with the moon itself as we have this full moon experience. So the moon and Saturn are over there like this in Aquarius, where Leo is holding the sun. And anytime we have a full moon in Aquarius, the sun is also in his own sign. So the sun is in his own sign, Saturn is in her own sign, and the moon is there with Saturn in this opposition. So this is already a lot of energy. Then we have on top of it a T square that's happening, where we have this Mars Uranus North Node conjunction in Taurus, you might have heard about, right? And that is a lot of energy, my friends. So we have that at the same time in a 90-degree angle opposition to both the sun and the moon. And that forms a triangle of tension, otherwise known as a T square in astrology. And so I've heard this astrologer, I think it was Kelly Rosano, talk about the apex of a T square is actually like the referee of that energy, of the tension that is experienced. And so far, I believe that that is an accurate summary. So I think I want to use that today to describe what we can do with this energy. But first, let's jump into a little bit more of what this Saturn conjunct the full moon could mean. The full moon in Aquarius is very quintessentially Aquarian, just because it has, you know, the moon there and it's full, but because Saturn is also present in Saturn's own sign. Again, with that said, what does that mean? That means more serious energy. It can even mean stoic energy. It can mean like less emotion, generally speaking, or sobering emotion, because at the same time, we have the Venus moving from the sign of Cancer into Leo, which gives us more passion and love. So I don't read this lunation as a feeling less or a like stoic sort of full moon, like sometimes Aquarius moons are and often tend to be. I view it more as like a sobering reality as to what and who you love, because Venus entering Leo is romantic, it is big, it is juicy, it is bold, it is out there and full of what feels like authentic warmth and love. That, my friends, is a very serious omen to be happening at the same time that we have the full moon. And by serious, I mean like not serious. I mean like loving and warm and charismatic and bold and out there and audacious, right? So that's the kind of like vibe or tone. But on the flip side, there is this sobering component because Saturn is like all business all day, all night, right? And so you put that with the moon, and that's the physical embodiment of things. You could be feeling at a very physical, tangible level, whatever that means for you, that there is a serious, sobering moment of reality check or of a kind of like, you have to look at something really objectively, or you have to look at something through a more traditionalist lens. Even though Aquarius is like the sign of innovation and advancement, you're being called to balance that notion of what is like antique or what is classic, okay, classical, and what is new and innovative. And this brings us into that Uranus T square, because Uranus is at the apex of the triangle or the top of a triangle in this square from the sign of Taurus. It's almost like we have to lean into that innovation bit, or we have to lean into this inner genius, our inner a kind of like awareness point of an idea, like oh, the light bulb, you know, it came on, that's Uranus. And also this idea of like spontaneity with the North Node there. It could be dangerous because the North Node is with Uranus. There could be unexpected explosions. P.S. There might be fireworks going off. If anybody's sensitive to that, I just want to let you know that's a thing that I witnessed earlier, reminded me to say just now. But the idea being there could be like explosiveness or unexpected severances or something really intense and crazy like that. But you have to lean into your own inner intuition at any given moment, because at the end of the day, that's kind of all any one of us has, other than our minds. Hopefully, we still have them, right? But like, we have our inner intuition as a guide. So listen to your stomach, listen to your body, listen to your own inner kind of like vibes as I say these words. I don't want to like cause any fear or like anxiousness in people. But with the North Node being a point of destiny or a point of karmic lean to, for lack of a better word, like where you're supposed to go into at any given moment, right? The North Node is like an omen of like, hey, here's the door, here's the karmic door to the next chapter. You can choose to go through it or linger behind in the South Node where the door is already closed. You're gonna have to bang on it a bunch. It might be locked. You might have to pick the lock. You might not have the key. But the point being, lean towards the North Node, and generally speaking, kind of across multiple forms of astrology, you're going to be along for the better ride, right? And that's not to say the ride is always the best ride. Sometimes the ride just is bumpy and it sucks all the way around. You can't get out of that. But the point being, karmically, you might consider leaning in towards Uranus. You might consider leaning in towards Mars and towards Taurus energy at this time. And that, by virtue of leaning into what is more innovative or advanced, or maybe more of a genius approach or radical approach, maybe what feels more sensually appealing at this time, because all this is happening in the sign of Taurus, and that is the bull, and it's very sensual and very like physical oriented, right? That can actually help liberate you from some of these more like challenging energies we might feel elsewhere, with the moon itself being in the sign of Aquarius. So I think it's a really good time for change, because anytime you have that 90-degree angle in astrology, it's a very manifesting energy. It's a great time to break free of previous enslavements to yourself, to notions, to ideologies. It's a great time to break free from I'm thinking of that Trevor Hall song, Just Let That Old Story Go, right? Because it's literally about letting go of an old narrative, and that Saturn is the timekeeper, the keeper of time, Chronos, right? And if you look at the square energy, it's one of liberation. With Mars, the other original malefic planet, of course, Saturn being the primary one in this example that we're talking about, Mars in that square arrangement, in that 90-degree relationship, it helps break free. Anytime you have malefic energy in squares, it's a breaking free kind of energy, because 90 degrees is manifesting and the malefic planets get it done. That's why they're so like scary to people, because they have like real life ramifications, and they don't always taste so good going down. It's like the spoonful of sugar is cosmically downloaded right now through Venus's ingress into Leo at this time, y'all. But when it comes down to it, there's malefic energy at play, and we do have a lot of tension in the air. So do not be surprised, friends, if you have arguments with people. But let me tell you, this is not going to be surface level ish. This is going to be all about the realest of the deals. And it's going to be about the heart and love, and what is truly coming from your heart at this time will likely come out in a very serious way, whether or not you mean it to, because that Saturn energy is like literally the planet of seriousness, and it is conjunct the moon, which is the omen of the material world and the common people like you and me. So just be aware that when you have conversations with people at this time, the tone is likely going to be a little bit sobering. There's a possibility for a somberness there, but I do think that that ingress of Venus into Leo is a saving grace at the end of the day, to allow us all to feel more heart-centered in those communications. And that's my ending invitation to you all, is to basically, whatever this full moon in Aquarius energy brings you, whether it's devastating, out of nowhere, shocking, tumultuous, liberating, awareness driving, what's the other word? Like kind of like an inspiration to break free, a precipice of change, whatever it is for you. I just encourage you, it could be a severance. It could be like, nah, I'm ending this relationship, or it could be an awareness like, nah, this is the right one for me. Whatever it is for you, I encourage you to come at it with love and that awareness of your own personal authenticity in all of this, because that is what Aquarius is at the end of the day. It is the drummer that goes to their own beat. So make your beat, follow your own beat. And the beat in this instance is Venus's poetic ingress into Leo of one's heart. Because if you don't know, Leo rules the heart. and Venus is the relationship planet, the ultimate relationship omen. So, all right, Tanya Lasagna about to sign off. Make sure you like this video if you haven't already. Subscribe if you're new here. If you want a reading with me, you can check out Wizdom, Dropz, Astrology, all Z's.com. The link is down below. Astrology is spelled normally with an S. I know it's confusing. Get over it. I love you. With that said, thanks for all the support. Thanks for the comments. Thanks for the likes, the shares, etc., etc. And with that said, through next time, until next time, may the stars forever be with you. Peace.